Okay. Hi friends. Listen, am I in the same outfit as last video? Yes, I am. If everything is going terribly right in my life, I am on vacation this weekend, and so I'm pre-filming this video. You know, like a YouTuber would. So to just get into it, the first book I read in the month of April was a poetry collection called What the Deep Water Knows by Miranda Cowley Heller. It is self-described as poetry that is at once bold and lyrical, affecting and devastatingly frank. Basically, Miranda takes us through her childhood, marriage, motherhood, and beyond. Suffused with the natural world and the landscapes of Cape Cod where many of the poems are set, What the Deep Water Knows contemplates love in all its seasons. This kind of caught my eye first off just because of the cover and the vibes when I was in the bookstore. All in all, I thought throughout there were several poems that I really liked, but I had picked it up thinking that it would be kind of like a more positive spin on like love in all its seasons, and it ended up being at large a very sad collection. I really liked the flow of poetry, but there were a couple of segmented poems especially that kind of confused me that I didn't really follow. At the end of the day, it wasn't something that I personally connected with a whole lot, but I did think it was pretty good. So for that reason, I gave this collection a 3. I can read you maybe a snippet from one of my favorite poems. Again, I'm a narrative poet. I really like narrative poetry. This one is a narrative poem called Nestlings. It starts off with, "We planted a sweet bay tree in a terracotta pot just outside the kitchen door. Not a tree, but a delicate thing, topiaried like a hothouse kumquat, and placed it on a paving stone under a lattice of snap peas." See, it's just like so descriptive and these like great images. I really like things that are themed after like specific locations, especially the sea and the beach. This did successfully transport me, and I really liked the vibes and location. I guess when I think of poetry collections, I try to decide how much of them I like. Not that you have to like every poem in a poetry collection, but this was definitely one where I didn't like maybe the majority. I want to say, because I dog-eared everything that I liked. So that's maybe what, like half? I liked maybe half the poems in here. I liked it. It's not one of the ones that's going to stick in my heart forever that I'm going to think about and reference all the time, but still like above average. As I said, for me, a 3. And that brings us to the only novel that I read in the month of April, which is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Borison, there we go. So First Time Caller is about Aiden Valentine, who has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love. He's the host of Baltimore's Romance Hotline, so that's a bit of a problem. When a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mom, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and Heartstrings into the limelight. Lucy Stone thought she was doing just fine. She has a good job, incredible family, and a smart, slightly devious kid. But when all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinizing her love life, or lack thereof, she begins to question if she's as happy as she believed. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. Okay, so I was a little bit slow to get into this novel just because the cast of characters wasn't necessarily my usual cast that I enjoy. That being said, once I get into it, I really enjoyed it. Honestly, one of my favorite things as I get older is I like when the characters don't like manufacture their own problems, but they're like actual developed reasonable, rational people. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, but I just want them to be a little bit more realistic and not so, I don't know, existing for the plot. The special thing I thought about this book is it also had just the right amount still of over the top, like love and like grand gestures, while still remaining realistic. Because you can go too far the other way. And then you're like, why am I reading this? It's not even like better than my real life. This was a good balance. It also had just the right amount of like tropes, but it also subverted the tropes. And it kind of challenged my expectations, but in a good way. Gonna be honest, once again, similar to comments that I had about the love hypothesis, I thought the kind of like sections in which they're hooking up, we're all adults here. I will just say the sections that were sexual in nature, I thought were told in a way that was a little too graphic. It didn't start until later in the book, and so for that reason it didn't really bother me as much, and I still overall liked this book. It was just like the type of spice was a very intense spice, and I don't know. I just wanted to feel very natural to the type of spice that the character you've written would have. Not that that character just becomes like insanely sexual and talented, but like, you know, I don't know. I just wanted the same amount of realism in those scenes. I really like, because this is about a radio station, obviously, I really liked the theme of the radio station and kind of the format and the cute little things throughout the book. And for that reason, I might read the whole rest of the series. I'm not necessarily running out to get it. If I saw it, would I read it? I might. My rooster won't stop screaming. All in all, at the end of the day, this book for me was a 4. Again, very strong showing. I would recommend it. 4 is really good for me. Not perfect, not dying to read everything that she's ever written, but enjoyable, very enjoyable. So that wraps up the entire month of April for me as well. I'm almost caught up. Like, it's only, what, July? August? I'm getting there. Obviously, this was my best book of April. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying the rom-com genre. Weirdly, summer does not seem to be the season in which I read the most, but that is okay, because at the end of the day, I'm still making my way through my huge box of TBR books, and I can't wait to continue to share what I'm reading with all of you. As always, talking about reading and books is my favorite thing in the world to do. I'm so glad that you joined me to do that today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.